Welcome to the Harley Carnes podcast, Harley on the headlines. Let's take a look at some of the stories of the day. It's a little bit slower day today, so this won't take as long. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it, and I also appreciate it when you like, follow, subscribe, and tell some people about it. Also, by the way, while it's always a work in progress, you should, of course, feel encouraged, if you would, to go by and check out the website, www.harleycarnes.com. Now, I haven't done anything with it in a little while, but we do expect to be adding some more books for sale to it, and I'd appreciate it. Also appreciate it when you let people know that, hey, the podcast is out there. Trump's popularity still strong. His coattails still capable. In Georgia, in a runoff race for the Republican nomination to the Senate, Mike Collins will challenge liberal John Ossoff, the Democrat, in November and could help return control of the Senate to the GOP. In Oklahoma, Trump-supported Congressman Kevin Hern for the Republican nomination to replace Markwayne Mullin, who resigned to become Secretary of Homeland Security. Hern is expected to win in November, no problem. In Alabama, Trump supported the winner in the Senate runoff. He also supported the winner in the governor's race in Oklahoma. The Georgia governor's race, however, did not go his way. Rick Jackson spent more than $100 million, most of it his own money, to defeat Burt Jones in the Republican runoff. But by and large, if Trump endorsed you, you win. How good is Lionel Messi of Argentina? The answer, how good does he have to be or want to be? The guy's incredible. You just don't see performances like Messi's in the World Cup very often. The competition is too intense. But Messi outscored Algeria all by himself last night with a hat trick, 3 goals, 2 with his left leg and 1, rare as it may be, with his right. Argentina are the defending champs. We'll see if they can repeat. Sure are on a good course for it. Anyone with a swimming pool knows how algae can grow, especially when you aren't on top of it. The reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial is shallow, and algae love shallow water. And the weather's been hot and humid. Plus, it's not a running stream, and algae loves still water like ponds. And the reflecting pool is a man-made pond. It was drained and resurfaced, repainted in April. When it was refilled, there was likely some residual water with algae starter in it, like yeast starter for bread, Plus, you add the new dark blue bottom of the pool, and you get a lot of heat absorbed, which only helps the algae grow. And man, did it grow. An algae bloom. Big growth, in a hurry. It's a big cleanup job because the algae has to be killed, then the pool cleaned, and the dead algae removed, and the water will have to be filtered to keep it clean. President Trump is getting support from preservation advocates for his ballroom at the East Wing of the White House. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is calling for Congress to get behind it now that they got their order from federal judge Richard Leon to make sure of congressional approval first. Senator Chuck Grassley has proposed $1 billion of tax money for security enhancements at the ballroom. The National Trust people weren't opposed to building it, just opposed to doing so without oversight from Congress, which is what is required, and Washington bureaucrats, of course, so they got themselves involved. The National Capital Planning Commission is another layer of bureaucracy. They voted to approve the project in April, and that inserted a whole new raft of regulations to be followed that they wrote up a long time ago. Congress doesn't write the red tape. Bureaucrats do. What they've done is make it tremendously more expensive. Trump had planned to build the whole thing the way he builds things and get it paid for by public donations. It's what happens when bureaucrats involve themselves. The Cultural Landscape Foundation is another one. They poked their nose into the repainting of the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial. There's no shortage of bureaucrats, that's for sure. Looks like the companies that build the huge data centers that power the artificial intelligence revolution are going to have to soundproof those buildings. Now, this is interesting stuff. There's a report in the New York Times that those data centers make noise. All those computers contribute to a low-frequency hum that just doesn't stop. Think the sound of an engine running down the street, out of sight but not quite out of hearing, day and night, day and night. If it's quiet, you hear it, and the quiet isn't anymore. Your laptop has a fan in it. Your desktop does. All computers must be cooled or they get too hot, and data centers need massive amounts of cooling to keep those electronic brains from melting, literally. And in places where the grid is not up to that task, they have banks of diesel generators running. Plus the AC units, they make noise. There's a kind of thrum that people grow to really, really, really dislike. And several small towns have already gone to court over this. And we're in AI's infancy, sort of. Pew Research claims that nearly 40% of homes in this country already live within 5 miles of a data center. And if you're less than 1 mile away, you probably hear it. The acoustic footprint is large and growing. The reality is medical science cannot quantify the level of risk yet because, A, it varies. It is known that infrasound, if you will, can be dangerous. If someone is ringing your doorbell at 3 in the morning, do you A, ignore it, B, call the cops, or C, go see who's there? In Nanaimo, British Columbia, a woman answered her door, and she found a 12-year-old boy standing there, middle of the night, terrified, because he said his dad needed help. He had tried 4 other houses. People just ignored the knock at the door or refused to answer. Amy Pye answered, and she ran down the street with the youngster, where she found his father face down on the floor of the bathroom and unresponsive. How fortunate for them that she, with help from a 911 operator, gave the man CPR and kept the man alive for about 15 exhausting minutes until the paramedics arrived and took over. They say she and that man's determined son saved his life for sure after what turned out to be a heart attack. Amy Pye says her next plan is to get fully trained in first aid like a paramedic, just in case. I guess that'll do it today. Thanks for dropping by, for tuning in. Hope you come back, bring some folks with you. You've given me a little bit of your very precious time. Thank you for that. Also worth mentioning, we're found on Spotify, video and audio, X, Facebook too. I'm Harley Carnes. Until next time, do yourself a favor. Make some good, conscious choices in your life today. Make a decision to be happy. And fly safe. It's the only way to get there.